August 15th, 1977, 11:16 p.m. A radio telescope in Ohio picks up something coming from space. A signal so strong, so impossible, that the scientist who detected it writes just one word in the margin of the paper. Wow! That signal was never detected again, never explained, and it's not alone. There are dozens of mysterious radio signals. Some come from deep space, others from unknown places on Earth, and some nobody knows where they come from. Today, you're going to learn about the most disturbing radio signals that science still can't explain. Get ready, because some frequencies hide secrets that perhaps shouldn't be discovered. Let's start with the most famous one, the WOW signal. August 1977, the SETI project, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, had been listening to the cosmos for years, searching for signs of intelligent life. The Big Ear radio telescope in Ohio was automatically scanning the sky, recording everything. In the early morning of the 15th, something extraordinary happened. For exactly 72 seconds, the telescope picked up a signal 30 times stronger than any background noise from space. It was so intense, so precise, so artificial, that when astronomer Jerry Emmon reviewed the data a few days later, he was paralyzed. He grabbed a red pen and wrote in the margin of the paper, "Wow!" That scribble will become the name of the greatest mystery in radio astronomy. What made the WOW signal so special? First, the frequency. It was detected at 1,420 megahertz, exactly the frequency of hydrogen, the most common element in the universe. Scientists always theorize that if aliens want to communicate, they'd use this frequency. It's like a universal channel. Second, the intensity. The signal was 30 times stronger than background noise. This doesn't happen naturally. Natural phenomena don't create signals so focused, so concentrated. Third, the origin. The signal came from the constellation of Sagittarius, near the star cluster Chi Sagittarii. But from which star exactly? Impossible to say. And fourth, the most disturbing, the signal lasted exactly 72 seconds. Not 70, not 75, 72. The exact time the telescope took to scan that region of the sky, as if something knew we were listening, and wanted to be heard only for that moment. Since 1977, scientists have tried to explain the WOW signal, and all attempts have failed. Theory 1, it was a terrestrial satellite. Dismissed. No satellite operated at that frequency in 1977. Theory 2, it was a comet. In 2017, an astronomer suggested that comets release hydrogen and could generate the signal. Problem? Comets don't create signals so intense and focused. And no comet was in that exact region in August 77. Theory 3, it was military interference. Also dismissed. Military installations didn't use that frequency. Theory 4, it was a natural pulsar or stellar explosion. Impossible. These phenomena are detected multiple times. The WOW happened once and never again. The Big Ear radio telescope was demolished in 1997. The area became a golf course. And with it, our best chance to pick up the signal again was destroyed. To this day, 47 years later, nobody knows what the WOW signal was. Aliens attempting contact? A natural phenomenon we don't understand, or something even stranger? What we know is, for 72 seconds in 1977, something in the universe wanted to be heard, and it was. But space isn't the only place where mysterious signals emerge. Here on Earth, on forgotten frequencies, ghost transmissions continue for decades, non-stop, without explanation. And one of them is on the air right now, as you watch this, for 1,625 kilohertz. Tune a shortwave radio to that exact frequency, and you'll hear something disturbing. Beep, 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 beep. A monotonous sound, repetitive, like an electronic heart beating in the void. This sound has been on the air since 1982, uninterrupted, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for over 40 years. Nobody knows exactly why. Nobody knows who's transmitting, and nobody knows what it means. Welcome to UVB 76, the most mysterious radio station in the world, also known as the buzzer. And if you think it's just a random signal, you're very wrong. UVB 76 was discovered by radio amateurs in 1982, but there's evidence it existed before, maybe since the 1970s. The pattern is always the same, a short, harsh beep, repeating 25 times per minute. Like a broken clock, like a machine that never sleeps. The transmission comes from Russia. Triangulations point to several different locations over the years. Pavlovo, near Moscow, then Narofomsk, then St. Petersburg. The station moves locations, but never stops transmitting. For decades, that was it. Just a beep, no voice, no message, no explanation. Just that hypnotic, meaningless sound echoing in the void of shortwave. Until in 1997, something changed. For the first time in 15 years of silence, someone spoke. The beep stopped for a few seconds, and a male voice in Russian recites something quickly. Yeah, UVB 76, 18008, Rommel, Boris, Roman, Olga, Mikhail, Anna, Larissa. And then the beeps returned. Radio amateurs worldwide were shocked. After 15 years of absolute silence, there was finally confirmation. There are people behind that transmission. But what did that message mean? A military code? Coordinates? Agent names? Nobody knows. Since then, voices appear sporadically. Sometimes months pass. Sometimes years. And then, without warning, the beeps stop. A Russian voice recites numbers, letters, words, and disappears again. In 2006, UVB 76, UVB 76, 93-800, 82-9-74, 14-35-74, 93882 Nikolai, Anna, Ivan, Mikhail, Ivan, Nina, Anna. In 2010, during station maintenance, microphones were accidentally left open, and what was recorded is disturbing. Voices conversing in Russian in the background, sound of footsteps, doors slamming, and someone shouting military commands. For a few minutes, the entire world could hear the interior of that mysterious installation, and then silence. The beeps returned, as if nothing had happened. So, what is UVB 76? Theory 1, it's a dead hand. An automatic Russian system that maintains a constant signal. If Russia suffers a devastating nuclear attack and the signal stops, nuclear missiles are automatically launched in retaliation. The constant beep would be proof that we're still alive. If it stops equals apocalypse. Theory 2. It's a military command channel. The coded messages are orders for military units, nuclear submarines, or secret agents. The constant beep keeps the frequency occupied, preventing others from using it. Theory 3. It's an ionospheric marker, a test signal to measure atmospheric conditions and radio propagation. The voices would just be transmission tests. Theory 4. The most sinister is an advanced number station. Number stations are espionage transmissions used to send coded messages to field agents. UVB-76 would be a modernized version, and the messages orders for secret operations. The Russian government has never confirmed the existence of UVB-76. Officially, it doesn't exist, but it keeps transmitting for 40 years without stopping. And here it gets even more disturbing. In 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, UVB-76 activity exploded. The number of voice messages increased drastically, almost daily. Radio amateurs recorded hundreds of coded transmissions, names, numbers, possible coordinates. Was UVB-76 being used to coordinate military operations? To send secret orders? Nobody knows. But the correlation is impossible to ignore. Right now, as you watch this, UVB-76 is transmitting. Beep, 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 without stopping. You can tune in and listen. 4,625 kilohertz. It's there, waiting. But UVB-76 isn't the only ghost station. There are dozens, hundreds, scattered around the world, transmitting codes, numbers, faceless voices, and some of them have been transmitting for over 50 years. Imagine it's 1985, Cold War at its peak. You're a Soviet spy infiltrated in London, alone, no direct contact with Moscow. How do your superiors send orders without being intercepted? The answer, through the air, literally. Every night at 11 p.m., you turn on your shortwave radio to a specific frequency, and you hear this. Attention, attention, 3472918. A monotonous voice, female, reciting random numbers, dozens of them, hundreds, and then silence. For anyone listening, it's incomprehensible. But for you, with your code book, those numbers mean extract the target tomorrow at 2 p.m. Use Route B. Eliminate witnesses. Welcome to the world of number stations, the most sinister radio transmissions in history, electronic ghosts of the Cold War, and many of them are still on the air. Number stations are clandestine radio transmissions that broadcast sequences of numbers, letters, or coded words. They've existed since the 1940s and were widely used during the Cold War. The system is brilliant in its simplicity. Step 1. A country, usually USSR, USA, Cuba, China, installs a powerful radio transmitter in a secret location. Step 2. At specific times, a voice, usually synthetic or recorded, begins transmitting numerical sequences, 57293184. Step 3. Field agents scattered around the world tune to that exact frequency at the agreed time. They write down the numbers. Step 4. Using a one-time pad, a code book provided beforehand, they decode the message. The diabolical beauty of the system? It's impossible to intercept securely. Anyone can hear the transmission. But without the code book, it's just random numbers. And if you use one-time pad codes correctly, where each code is used only once and then destroyed, the encryption is mathematically unbreakable. To this day, it's invisible espionage, messages being transmitted openly but completely unreadable. There are, or were, hundreds of catalog number stations, each with its own sinister personality. The Lincolnshire Poacher, a British station that played the opening bars of an English folk song before reciting numbers, operated from 1970 until 2008, and then simply stopped. No explanation. Yosemite Sam, an American station that began with a cartoon character's voice saying varmint, "I'm gonna blow you to smithereens," before entering the codes. Bizarre? Yes. Effective? Also yes. Swedish Rhapsody. Perhaps the most disturbing. A music box playing a children's melody, and then a child's voice reciting numbers in German. The voice is clearly synthetic, robotic, but sounds like a child. Operated in the 90s. Hearing this transmission at 3 a.m. was terrifying. The pip, a Russian station that emitted only a single pip, a short beep at regular intervals. No numbers, no voice, just pip, pip, pip for hours. And then, rarely, a Russian voice would emerge from the silence and recite codes. Magnetic fields, Cuban station that began with attention, and then a female Spanish voice recited groups of 5 numbers. Still active. And here's the most disturbing part. No government has ever officially admitted that these stations exist. Officially, number stations aren't real, but you can tune in and hear them. Now, some are still transmitting. For decades, governments denied. Number stations? We don't know what you're talking about. Until 2001, the case of the Cuban Five, 5 Cuban agents arrested in the U.S. During the trial, prosecutors presented evidence that the spies used number stations to receive orders from Havana. It was the first, and to this day only, official judicial confirmation that number stations were used for real espionage. The agents had computers with specific software to decode transmissions. The messages came from the station tension, magnetic fields broadcasting from Cuba. One of the decoded messages said, "Prioritize penetration of U.S. Southern Command. Obtain information about military plans." Real espionage, real codes, real number stations. And if they existed for Cuba, they certainly existed and exist for Russia, China, the United States, Israel, and anyone else who wants to send messages that no one can intercept. The Cold War ended in 1991, but number stations didn't stop. Many remain active. New ones have emerged. And with modern technology, digital encryption, internet, you'd think these antiquated transmissions would disappear. But no, because radio waves have one advantage. It's impossible to track the receiver. An agent with a $50 radio can receive secret orders from Moscow, Beijing, or Washington, and nobody knows he's listening. At this exact moment, as you watch this, there are ghost voices reciting numbers in the ether, messages being sent, codes being decoded, and you'll never know what they say. But not all mysterious signals are man-made. Some come from Earth itself, and they've been driving people crazy for decades. Imagine you wake up at 3 a.m. and you hear a sound. It's not loud. It's not high-pitched. It's a low hum, constant, like a diesel engine running blocks away, like an underground generator, like something vibrating in the bowels of the earth. You go to the window, open it. The sound continues. You check the appliances, turn everything off. Refrigerator, air conditioning, router. The sound continues. You go outside. Silence. Your neighbors are sleeping. Nothing is on. But when you come back inside, there it is. That damn hum, vibrating in your skull. Days pass. Weeks. The sound doesn't stop. You can't sleep. Can't concentrate. It's driving you crazy. And when you finally seek help, you discover something terrifying. You're not alone. Thousands of people around the world hear exactly the same sound at the same time. Welcome to a phenomenon known as the hum. And nobody knows where it comes from. The first documented reports of the hum emerged in the 1970s. In Bristol, England, hundreds of residents began reporting a mysterious hum, always at night, always at the same low frequencies, between 40 and 80 hertz. A sound you don't so much hear, but feel, vibrates in your chest, resonates in your bones. The British government took it seriously, sent acoustics teams. They measured, analyzed, and found nothing. No industrial source. No equipment. Nothing that could generate that sound. But people kept hearing it. Soon, similar reports emerged in other places. Taos, New Mexico. Windsor, Ontario. Kokomo, Indiana. Bondi, Australia. Auckland, New Zealand. Always the same pattern. A low-frequency hum. Always at night, always disturbing, and always unexplainable. Studies discovered something curious. Only 2% of the population can hear the hum. It's not a matter of more acute hearing. Young and old hear it. People with perfect or damaged hearing hear it. It's as if certain people are tuned to a frequency others don't pick up. But what causes a sound? The theories about the hum are many, and none explain everything. Theory 1. Industrial sources. In some cases, it was confirmed. The Kokomo hum in Indiana was traced to 2 factories operating low-frequency equipment at night. When the equipment was modified, the sound stopped. Problem solved. But in all other places, no source was found. Theory 2. Military communication systems. Nuclear submarines use extremely low-frequency waves, ELF, for underwater communication. These waves travel through soil, water, buildings. Some believe the hum is leakage from these transmissions. Problem? Many of the affected places are too far from military installations. Theory 3. Tinnitus. Maybe it's not an external sound. Maybe it's something generated internally, in the ear or brain of affected people. But this does explain why people in the same region hear the same sound at the same time. If it were tinnitus, it would be random. Theory 4. Earth resonance. The planet has a natural vibration frequency, the Schumann resonance, around 7.83 Hertz. Some scientists speculate the hum could be harmonics of this frequency, amplified by specific geological conditions. Theory 5. The most disturbing unknown underground activity. Something happening in the depths of the Earth's crust. tectonic movements, volcanic activity, or something we don't yet understand. The truth? There probably isn't one cause. The hum may have multiple origins, depending on location, but in many cases, we simply don't know. The hum isn't just annoying. For those who hear it, it's devastating. Reports from affected people describe chronic insomnia. The sound is most noticeable at night, when everything is quiet. Impossible to sleep with that constant hum vibrating in your skull. Anxiety and depression, the feeling of going crazy, of nobody believing you. I don't hear anything, say friends and family. Social isolation. You withdraw from people, become obsessed with finding the source, spend entire nights researching, measuring, trying to prove you're not imagining it. Some even move cities, sell their homes, move to rural areas, and sometimes the hum follows them. There are online forums with thousands of members, desperate people sharing their experiences, trying to help each other, because doctors have no answers, acousticians have no answers. A woman in Taos said, "It's like someone turned on an engine inside my head and threw away the key. It's never going to stop." And for many, it really never stops. Some cases are particularly disturbing. Taos, New Mexico. The Taos hum is so famous it became a proper name. In the 1990s, the U.S. government conducted official investigations, interviewed residents, measured frequencies. Conclusion? Real phenomenon, cause unknown. Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So severe that the Canadian government launched a federal investigation in 2013. Thousands of complaints. People hospitalized from stress. The investigation pointed to Zug Island, an American industrial island across the border. But when the U.S. investigated, nothing conclusive was found. And here's the scariest part. In some places, the hum simply stops. No explanation. Months or years of constant humming. And then one day, silence. Why? Nobody knows. And in other places, it never stops. Decades. People hearing the same hum their entire lives. The hum continues. Right now, thousands of people around the world are hearing that damn hum. Not sleeping. No answers. Maybe it's industrial. Maybe it's military. Maybe it's the earth itself vibrating at frequencies we don't understand. Or maybe it's something we'll never discover. But not all mysterious sounds come from land. Some come from the ocean. And one of them was so loud, so impossible, that it was heard thousands of kilometers away. And nobody knows what produced it. Summer, South Pacific Ocean. NOAA hydrophones, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of the United States, detect something extraordinary. A sound coming from the depths, so loud it was picked up by sensors separated by more than 5,000 kilometers. Imagine a sound produced in the middle of the ocean, traveling through thousands of kilometers of water, and still strong enough to be clearly recorded. When scientists sped up the recording, because the sound was an ultra-low frequency, too slow for the human ear to process, they heard this. Bloop, an ascending sound. Fast, powerful, as if something gigantic had screamed. They called it the bloop, and to this day, nobody knows what produced it. The bloop wasn't a common sound. NOAA has a network of hydrophones submerged throughout the Pacific. originally installed to detect Soviet nuclear submarines during the Cold War. After the end of the USSR, scientists began using these sensors to study ocean sounds. And the bloop was anomalous. First, the distance. Sound travels better in water than in air. But even so, a sound audible at 5,000 kilometers requires a massive energy source. Second, the pattern. The sound had organic characteristics. It wasn't an explosion. It wasn't geological. It rose rapidly in frequency, bloop, as if something were producing it vocally. Third, the origin. The sound came from a remote area of the South Pacific near Point Nemo, the most isolated place in the oceans, 2,600 kilometers from the nearest land. Scientists compared the bloop with whale sounds. Blue whales, the largest animals on the planet, produce extremely loud sounds. But the bloop? It was much louder, orders of magnitude louder. If it was produced by a living creature, it would be much, much larger than any known whale. Theories about the bloop divided the scientific community. Theory 1, scientists' favorite. It was an iceberg, specifically a giant iceberg cracking and breaking. The sound was traced to an area near Antarctica, where icebergs are common. In 2005, NOAA officially declared the bloop was probably caused by ice fracturing. Case closed. Or not, because here's the problem. Icebergs produce different sounds. Cracking sounds are abrupt, chaotic. The bloop was smooth, ascending, almost melodic. Theory 2, it was an unknown creature. Maybe a giant colossal squid, much larger than any ever found. Or something completely unknown. 95% of the ocean has never been explored. Who knows what lives down there? Theory 3. Underwater volcanic activity. The ocean floor is geologically active. Underwater eruptions, gas releases, structure collapses, all produce sounds. Theory 4. The most unlikely but fascinating. Something artificial. A military experiment. A submarine collapsing. Or something we shouldn't know about. The truth? We'll probably never know for sure. The bloop was detected once. In 1997. And never again. The bloop isn't alone. There are dozens of unidentified ocean sounds. Julia, detected in 1999. A sound that lasted 15 seconds, picked up by the entire Pacific network. Similar to a vocalization, but no known creature produces anything like it. Slowed down. Recorded in 1997, same time as a bloop. A sound that literally slows down in frequency over 7 minutes. As if something were decreasing speed, dying perhaps? Upsweep. This one is disturbing because it continues to this day. A repetitive, ascending sound detected since 1991. It increases and decreases seasonally. Origin, probably volcanic, but nobody's certain. Train, sounds exactly like the name suggests. A train passing, but it's coming from the ocean floor. Probable explanation, seismic activity, but the sound is eerily mechanical. Whistle, a high-pitched underwater whistle. Short, unexplained. NOAA catalogs these sounds. Some have been explained: icebergs, earthquakes, animal activity. But others remain in the file marked origin unknown. And every year, new sounds are detected. The ocean is alive with frequencies we don't understand. From deep space to the ocean floor. From ghost stations transmitting for decades to sounds only some people can hear, the world is full of signals we don't understand. Frequencies that escape our perception. Messages we may never decipher. The wow signal was never detected again, but it's there in the archives, reminding us that for 72 seconds in 1977, something wanted to be heard. UVB 76 continues transmitting. Right now, beep, 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 like a ghost heart beating in the darkness of radio waves. Number stations still send codes. Faceless voices reciting numbers that mean what? We'll never know. Thousands of people still hear the hum. At night, alone, no answers, no relief. And in the ocean depths, impossible sounds echo in the darkness. Sound that might come from creatures we'll never see, or from phenomena we'll never understand. We live on a planet of sonic mysteries. Radio signals crossing the cosmos. Transmissions spanning decades. Hums torturing minds. And screams from the abyss. Maybe one day we'll have answers. Maybe not. But meanwhile, the signals continue. Transmitting. Echoing. Waiting. Is anyone listening? Are you listening? If you made it this far, thank you so much. If this video intrigued you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment. Which of these signals disturb you the most? And if you want to hear some of these sounds for real, the UVB 76 number stations, the Bloop, I'll leave the links in the description. Until the next mystery.